Good morning, my dear students. Hope you are safe at home. Today we will start our session by Unit 1, Lesson 1, Matter and its characteristics. So we will talk about the matter and its characteristics. We talked before in primary about the matter. What is the meaning of matter? Matter is anything that has a mass and a volume. So if the ruler is the matter, if the candle is the matter, we will check it after. So what is the meaning of mass? Mass is the amount of matter that the body contains. If I have two beakers, which one is heavier? This one or this one? This one. Why? Because the amount of balls here is much more than the amount of balls here. So the amount of balls inside this beaker is much more than amount of balls in this beaker. So the mass of this beaker is greater than the mass of this beaker. So the mass is the amount of the matter that the body contains. What is the measuring unit of the mass? The measuring unit of the mass is gram or kilogram. And we studied before that when we want to measure the mass, we will use a balance scale, sensitive scale. Okay, now we will talk about the volume. Before we talk about the volume, we want to know what is the meaning of the volume. If I put the candle on the sheet, it will take a space from the sheet. So the volume of the candle is the space taken by the candle on the sheet. So what is the meaning of the volume? It is the space taken by object or the space that's occupied by the object. Okay, what is the measuring unit of the volume? We will measure the volume by cubic centimeter or cubic meter for the solid object and liter or milliliter for the liquid. Okay? Now we will talk about the properties of the matter. How we can differentiate between the matter? We can differentiate between the matters by using physical properties or chemical properties. First, we will talk about the physical properties. Okay, let's see. The first properties in the physical properties is the color, taste, and smell. If I have a piece of gold and a piece of iron, how we can differentiate between them? Look, this is my piece of gold and the iron nails. How we can differentiate between them? We can differentiate between them by color. Okay, if I have a salt and sugar, how we can differentiate between them? We can differentiate the salt and sugar by taste because they have the same color, white color, and maybe have the same texture. Okay, how we can differentiate between vinegar and the perfume? Right, we can differentiate between the vinegar and the perfume by smell. Okay, let's talk about the second properties, is the hardness. If I have solid object, I want to differentiate between them. There is solid objects that are soft at the room temperature, like the rubber. They are solid, but it's soft at the room temperature. And I have the solid substance that becomes soft by heating. Why we heat it? To be shaped easily, like the gold, like the iron, like the copper, all the metals. To reshape them, we have to heat it. And the solid substance can't be softened by heating, like coal and sulfur. Okay, we will talk about the third properties, which is electric conduction. We studied before that there is a difference between iron rod and plastic ruler. We studied that all the metal are good conductor of electricity, but all the plastics and wood and leather and glass are bad conductors of electricity. So we will talk about the electric conduction. Some substances are good conductors of electricity, which allow the electricity to pass through it or flow through it, like all the metals, iron, copper, aluminium, silver, and some solutions like acidic solution. Acidic solution, we will find it inside the lemon juice, has acidic solution. Some salt solution, like a spoon of salt inside the water and dissolve it carefully, it will form a salt solution and an alkaline solution. All these solutions are good conductors of electricity. Now we will talk about the bad conductors of electricity. It's the substances that don't allow the electricity to pass through it, like gases, some solid substances like sulfur and phosphorus, some solutions like sugary solution and hydrogen chloride and benzene. Sugary solution, like when we put a spoon of sugar inside the water and dissolve it carefully, okay? Now we will talk about the thermal conduction, and we talked it before in the primary. I have substance are good conductor of heat and another substance that are bad conductor of heat, okay? Substances that are good conductor of heat, which allow the heat to pass through it, like the metals, and another substance which are bad conductor of heat, which don't allow the heat to pass through it, like the wood and plastic. Okay, now we will talk about the melting point. Did you remember when we leave a piece of ice for a period of time, it will change into water, right? So this is called melting process. But in this year, we will talk about the melting point. What is the meaning of melting point? It is that temperature at which the matter begins to change from the solid state into liquid states. Now, we will talk about the temperature, not a process. We will talk about the temperature. So the melting point, it is the temperature at which a matter begins to change from the solid state into the liquid state. Like we see in the pictures, the ice begins to change into water at 0 Celsius, right? Okay. Substance can be classified according to the melting point. I have many substances that has high melting point and another substance that has low melting point. What is the difference? The substance that has high melting point, it takes much more time to be melted. But the substance that has low melting point, it melts very quickly. So we will start about the substance that has low melting point, such as we talked in our session about the ice and the wax and the butter. Okay, and we will talk about the substance that has high melting point. What is the substance that has high melting point? What the substance that needs much more heat to change out to be melt, like the iron, copper, aluminium, and salt, and they need high temperature. High temperature. Okay, I have some live applications on melting. Cooking pans. We made a cooking pans from aluminium or stainless steel. Why we didn't make it from plastic, any other substance? Because our aluminium and stainless steel has high melting point. High melting point. Okay. I need a melting point to reshape some metals, to form something called alloy. I have two types of alloy. Copper gold alloy, when we mix gold and copper together to form copper gold alloy, which is used in making jewels. Why we add a copper to the gold? To make it, to give it hardness. Okay, so the first alloy, copper gold alloy, which is used in making jewels. You know the jewels? Okay, and I have another alloy, which results from mixing nickel and chrome to form nickel chrome alloy, which is used in making heating coils. The third property is the boiling point. Okay, we talked before about the boiling. When we put the water inside the pot and put it inside on the flame, the water begins to change into gas, right? This is called boiling process, but I'm talking today about the boiling point. So it is the temperature at which the matters begin to change from the liquid state into gaseous states, like shown in the figure. Okay, thank you for listening.